Hello everyone, I'm here today with a flip-through video. I'm showing you the first 2 days of my trip to Cincinnati, and I'm using this lovely 6x8 album from Simple Stories. This was one of their limited edition ones, this lovely lavender, and I won this actually, so I didn't even have to pay for it, which makes it even better. So starting off here, I decided to do things a little bit differently in this album. Because it came with these heavier cardstock insert dividers, I thought, well, generally they don't come with that and or I wouldn't use them. But since they were part of it, I figured, all right, I will try to incorporate them as much as possible. And so far I've been pretty successful. So this is my opening page. I did use this, which came as part of the inside contents of the album. I get cards like this a lot. I have the Ellie Studio monthly subscription. And at the start of every year, you generally get one of these. And lots of times, like, I don't use them because I don't do really even a family album anymore because, like, my kids aren't into it really. And I don't do a me album. I don't do daily project life or any of that. So it's harder for me to use them. So I thought, all right, if I have it, I can use it for this trip because it did happen in 2023. And what else am I going to use it for, really? I decided to decorate the backside as well. So I just used some colorful stickers that I liked. And then I bought this in a shop when we were there because When Pigs Fly is kind of a big thing there. It's part of their city history. So I thought, well, that's a good place to use it, kind of set the tone as I get started. And then for each of the days, there were purple inserts included to match the color on the outside of the album. So I used those to delineate the days, which I normally do not do. But I'm really liking it in this album, so I may end up doing it again. But here is where Thursday starts. This was a postcard I bought, and I figured that's awesome. It covers up almost the entire page. I really don't need to do a whole lot to start off the day, so it worked out well. On the back side of this, I chose not to do anything with it, at least for now. I may go back and do something at some point, but for now I've left that blank, at least in this section. But then here we start off with the flight. I kept this really simple. I just tried to match the orange a little bit, put my destination and the date that we left. So nothing too earth-shattering there, but at least it shows the flight. And I continued with that on the back because it just happened that there was this mural inside the Cincy airport and it matched with the blue that I had in the plain stuff. So I'm like, all right, well then that's just begging to be used in here. So I used that as well. And then I documented our first stop of the day. We actually went and put our bags in our Airbnb, but we couldn't really check in yet. We were just leaving our bags. So we dropped those and then we went right into downtown and we really didn't eat anything from the morning, and then certainly not really on the plane. So we decided to grab something down there, and we got lucky that right at the square that we were visiting, there were a couple of food trucks. So we decided to do Mexican street corn. So I just did some little stickers to kind of match that theme. Every day is Taco Tuesday. And then I happened to have this card that had the red and white checks. How could I not use it then? And then right in this area is where the food truck was located. And so we just walked around the square. This is Fountain Square. So we just walked around that, took some photos. I kept this very simple. Phrase label, a puffy sticker, a little bit of ephemera, journaling, nothing too outrageous. But then we started looking for murals. That's one of the reasons we wanted to go, is because we had heard that their whole downtown is covered with these different murals, and it did not disappoint. We found a lot during our 4 days. So I showcased some here, and it was very, very bright and bold for these pictures, and so I kept with that with all of the different stickers that I used. And there's another one from kind of far away, and then when we walked across the street, I wanted to get different angles because I just found it so interesting. And then here, there's a lot going on. This actually has a flip up here. So I also have some things on the inside. And it was just about, you know, we were doing a lot of walking. And even though it was the middle of May, it was hot already. Out in that sun, it was probably 75, but in the sun, it felt much, much warmer. We were sweating. It was hot. So we decided to get a cold treat. So here's the cart that we found in a park when we were walking. And we decided to just chill, sit down for a while, rest, and enjoy our little cold treat there. And then when we were done there, we decided we were going to walk across the Roebling Bridge to Covington, Kentucky, because it's right across. And the bridge is, I think it's less than a mile. I mean, we ended up walking a lot, but that span, less than a mile, pretty sure. And this is my first flip out page protector that I use in this album. So you can see on the heading, there's the info on the bridge. So this was designed by the same guy who later designed the Brooklyn Bridge. So you definitely see some similarities there. And again, I kept it really simple. I just figured like blue, brown, green was my color palette, and I went with that. And very minimal embellishments and things here. And I think that was needed because there was just a lot happening. These are pretty busy. So smarter to keep it simple. And then as we were walking across, one of the river boats went right underneath the bridge so we could see it very well. And we were actually doing a riverboat ride that evening. So we were excited to see like, hey, there's, you know, that's the boat we'll be on, or at least someone or something that's similar. So it was fun to see that. And this one has a flip out, or excuse me, photo flip, not a flip out because it's not part of the page protector, but I put on a photo flip. I wanted to use the postcard. I bought this. There was a little gift shop actually on the boat, and so I bought it in there, so it worked out perfectly. This was just a place that we happened to spot once we crossed the river. We didn't actually go in there and eat or anything, but we saw it. We thought all the little goats were cute. I love goats. So I had to take the pictures and do something with them, and I'm happy with the way that turned out. And I actually have this little piece of paper here because I realized I screwed up on a layout. I didn't get the right photos that I wanted, and it's actually going to go here. But I'm waiting for the photo order to come because I had some other things that I needed. So it was a little bit more than I would want to print at home. It was a bigger batch. So that will get added later. So this is just a marker as to that's where it goes. So sorry that you don't get to see that one, but it will be there eventually. This was just some photos of the neighborhood. I'm going to scooch this down because there is a flip up here. I did some journaling. I loved all the architecture, and I loved that I had this little digital file that I could use. It just fit in so well with not even just the style, but the color, because it's coral and kind of orangey. Like, those are not common colors to use, but with these, it totally worked. So after we did all that walking, we actually had to find somewhere for dinner, and we found an Irish pub that was nearby. So we went and had dinner, sat outside in the shade though. It was very hot. So we were like, either we're sitting inside with AC or we have to be in the shade because it was too warm for anything else. So we spent some time there and just being off our feet and relaxing. And then we were able to walk from there to our riverboat cruise. It was less than a mile, so that was awesome. And this one also has a flip out. I really love these when I'm trying to incorporate more than what a single page protector allows, but I don't want to do 2 or 3 layouts. I love being able to use these. And these are just some pictures as the sun was starting to set while we were on the cruise, which was so fun because we were on the water. So we got to see the city light up for the night, and that was super fun. I mean, we knew that might happen because of the timing and time of year, but we weren't sure if, if we would hit it exactly right, and we did. So we were quite pleased with that. Just a little washi. I did some stamping on this tag. That's it. And over here, I couldn't find a card I liked, so I just made my own. I used the same washi so it would look cohesive, and then I had this little travel tag. It was awesome because it had just enough room for my journaling, and it was yellow to match this bridge. So couldn't argue with any of that. And then the last thing for that Thursday night, more pictures of the water. You can tell here, it was getting pretty late there, and the lights on the bridge came on. So I wanted to feature that as well. And then here's the start of Friday. I chose to use the hippo here because we spent the entire day at the zoo, open to close. That's pretty much all we did that day. So I have far fewer photos for Friday because we really only did one activity. And now for this one, I chose to take one of the inserts and adhere it to the back of this so that it would match and I could use it on a layout. So I love that I was able to actually use one of those pieces in a new way that I normally wouldn't do. So that was very fun. And I just did a lot of stickers here. I loved this washi. I felt like it matched really well between what I had here and then the pink flamingo here. So it's happy accident. I didn't plan that out, but the fact that it all came together, loved it. And then I just have a 3x8 insert here because I didn't have enough at the front to really make a full layout. So a 3x8 was perfect. And then I went right into the Africa area and I had quite a few pictures from there, so I wanted to use that. This is yet another flip out, but I loved it. It fit the number of photos that I had so nicely that I had to do it. Now, do I want to use one of these on every layout? No, that would be far too much and it isn't called for, excuse me, for every layout. But for this, it did work because I had a lot to fit in there. So I love that I could kind of use the top flap, folding it inward, and all of this. And on the back side, the whole reason we went, the hippos. So of course I have to feature them. They got a little bit more attention here. So I have all this, but I tried to keep it simple too because it was busy. So really I just wanted simple labels for the names of all the hippos, which they got. But then I did this acrylic sticker, or sorry, not acrylic, vinyl sticker that I bought in the gift store. I just did some ink splattering around it. It didn't need anything else. It's obvious what it is. But on the back, I did a little more. I'm lucky that I had this paper that matched what I had going on, and I just used some of my fuzzy stickers from Pip Stickers. Same thing here, just a little ink splattering, some basic stickers, called it good, and I really think that's all it needs. After the hippos, we saw some other things as well, and then the giraffes were actually one of the last things we did because we wanted to do the special feeding time that you pay extra for, and there were only certain time slots, so we didn't have a huge amount of choice, so we just had to go with what they were offering. But it worked out very well. This was, I mean, we went for the hippos, but this was my favorite experience, actually. It was really fun. I think it was $7 to do it. I would totally do it again. It's worth it if you're going to go there and you're thinking about it, just do it. And I made my own card here with some pattern paper, put this cute little giraffe on there. Again, kept it simple, just, a little phrase. This was simply for aesthetics to bring in more of that blue. That's the only purpose it serves, really. And then to match this and my journaling, and that's it. Then I wanted to feature the kangaroos because at our zoo, we don't have kangaroos as a regular thing. We had a special summer thing a couple years ago where they brought in kangaroos and they were there. But to my knowledge, those are not permanent. They're not still there. So we don't get to see that all the time. So I wanted to make sure that I featured them. And they were all kind of lazing around like this, probably because it was so hot. They were just, hanging around, very chill. And we liked that they were kind of resting on their elbows and taking a break. So I wanted to put those in there. But again, simple phrases, just this little pennant, and it really didn't need a whole lot else. And then here, I was sad because I love the elephants, but I did not get great pictures. There was a lot of shade happening and they were in areas that weren't easily photographed. So I ended up this is the best one I got. I ended up really not having a lot to showcase, which is sad on the one hand, but you know what? It's okay. I don't need 50 photos of everything. And then this was the end of the day. I had a horrible headache that day. I had it all day long at the zoo. I was fighting it. So it wasn't the most pleasant experience for me. And it was so hot. We were tired. We walked so much while we were there. Both my friend and I were like, you know what? We don't want to go out for dinner. Let's just go get some groceries and we'll cook at our Airbnb. So that's what we did. And then I think we ended up watching 2 movies, just laying on the couch, kind of hanging out, and went to bed. So Friday night was not exciting. We were just at our Airbnb, but that's okay. And that's the end of the first 2 days. You can see I have Saturday, the divider, already done, but we will look at that later. So you've seen the first half, and then you'll get to see Saturday and Sunday in the next flip through. So hopefully you're enjoying seeing these layouts, and I hope you stick around to watch more. Thanks for watching.